Longhorn football is done with their bye week with a much-needed win in their sights. The MLB Championship Series is off to a Texas-sized start, and the NFL season is over a third of the way done. All of this and so much more coming up on College Crossfire.
Coming back to that 2021 MVP. He's better than Josh Allen. He's better than Baker Mayfield. He's not better than Mahomes. I can't say that.
Well, if you miss a kick, you get kicked.
You know, bag of money or whatever, some food inside of them. Okay. All right. We're gonna move on.
Good evening, and welcome into the most renowned and entertaining sports show in the universe. I'm your official host, Ryan Swantkowski, and we have a great show for you this evening. Before meeting our contestants, I want to share with you that today's show is brought to you by Cap Metro, Austin's transit system. We connect you to work, school, play, and everywhere in between. Plan your ride to this weekend's game at capmetro.org. All right. Let's go ahead now and meet the players of tonight's contest. Introducing first, the College Crossfire Week 6 winner, and a man who is surely tired of my Dallas Cowboy jokes at this point, and who really dressed to impress tonight, if you can't tell, Joseph Duffey. Joseph, welcome.
Yeah, I got so sick and tired of the Dallas Cowboys Sunday. I had to pull up in some CFL gear. As you can see, some Toronto Argonauts gear right here. Repping Chad Kelly and the boys, 14-2. Ready to go for another back-to-back win, maybe.
Wow, so there you go. He's already off the Cowboys train and back into the CFL, the Canadian Football League, ladies and gentlemen, and there you go. Well, welcome, Joe. Good to have you. Introducing second, a new man in the College Crossfire arena, looking to stir the pot a little bit, Henry Hipschman. How you doing, Henry?
I'm doing good. It's great to be here and excited to get this new experience. So.
I like that. Great, humble start. I love that. Welcome to the show, man. Great to have you. And introducing third, not a new man, but indeed a man making his second appearance of this school year, who's looking for the W tonight, Aram Vela. Aaron, how we doing?
Yeah, man, the first one didn't count, let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? But I'm excited to be here. It's about to be cinema tonight, boys. It's going to be cinema.
There we go. It's going to be cinema tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here. This is Crossfire. This is what it's all about. Before we get into it, though, let's go over the rules of the game, just in case you have never tuned in before. There will be 3 rounds, with each round containing 3 questions, and points will be given to who I believe has the best answer in order of 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. Whoever has the most points at the end of the third round wins and gets to come back for next week's show as well. But we can't forget that the third and final round, or the rapid fire round, is worth double the points. That meaning the best answer will receive 6 points and so on. Also in this rapid fire round, the contestants have not been able to see or prepare for these questions whatsoever, meaning they will have to improvise, overcome, and just hopefully not get caught in the crossfire. Now that the game is explained, let's get to firing. The Longhorns make the insanely long trek to Houston this coming Saturday to take on the Cougars at TDECU Stadium. It would seem to be parallels, as Texas lost on a last-second TD in their last game and Houston winning their previous match on a caught Hail Mary. It seems that Texas not only needs to win, but also in a dominant fashion. For this game, what will be the key to victory, and what is your final score prediction? And we're going to start here in the first chair with Joe.
Yeah, I remember seeing the Hail Mary, and I was like, of course, as you know, they're about to play Texas. They got to have some nice momentum going into the next week as Texas is on their bye. But the same issue is what I've been talking about last week, the red zone offense. Like I said last week, this team is 122nd in the nation in touchdown percentage in the red zone, scoring about touchdowns 45%. That's ridiculous for all the talent they have on this roster. They're number 8 right now in the country. They're going to have to cash in from close distance. I'm looking for Jonathan Brooks, Quinn Ewers, Xavier Worthy specifically to get the job done. But also, look on the other side of the ball, Donovan Smith, who beat us last year with Texas Tech. Remember, he had 7 fourth-down conversions in Lubbock. That was a horrific game from that defense. This Texas defense did not do that good last time against OU in Dallas, and so they're going to have to rebound this time around against a team that's not that good. This Houston defense is very porous, and this Houston offense is very streaky, if you want to say that. So this should be a good game. I think Texas will win probably about 45-28.
Okay, 45-28. Interesting, 28 points there for the Cougars. I like the analysis, though. Brooks, especially, I think, on the ground game, will be a key factor to that. Okay, Henry, what do you got for us, man?
I think Texas is going to have this one locked up, and the best way for them to do that is just not play against themselves. That's what happened at the OU game. They had very stupid penalties, and they couldn't make plays when they should have made plays. They fouled the punter, and when we should have had the ball, they went down and scored. And we also got to protect our quarterback. Quinn Ewers has been sacked 14 times so far this season. That's second in the Big 12. The only other guy that's been sacked more is Donovan Smith, the Houston quarterback. And that brings me to my next point. We got to attack that quarterback. We got to get the ball. We got to make sure we add to that total and just pressure him throughout the game. And, we got to stop big plays and big runs.
Yep. Do you have a score prediction for me at all?
Yeah, I do. I got 28-7.
28-7. Okay. Very different from Joe's answer, but I like the analysis a lot. Here we go. All right, Aram, round us off for us.
Yeah, like you said, this should be a pretty on paper, it seems like a pretty easy win for Texas. I don't think that at all. It's one of those trap games like Joe said. Donovan Smith gave us a lot of trouble last year with Texas Tech. And, for the love of God, last week against Oklahoma, we made Dylan Gabriel look like the second coming of Russell Wilson, and that guy's going to be flipping burgers in a couple months, let's be honest. He'll be lucky to be a general manager at a Whataburger once the NIL wires stop hitting. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I digress. Like I said, Donovan Smith, what I've noticed about this Texas defense is they struggle against mobile quarterbacks, or they make quarterbacks that aren't mobile. Prime example, Dylan Gabriel last year. So I think that this game is going to be won at the line of scrimmage, in the trenches. You got to give Quinn a clean pocket to pick off the Houston defense, which, the Texas should have more talent than Houston in this game. Sark should be in his bag as far as play calling, and as far as the defense, we cannot allow what happened last week against Oklahoma to happen. We can't allow Donovan Smith to do what he did last year against us. It's going to be won at the line of scrimmage, both on offense and on defense.
Okay, do you have a final score prediction for me?
37-20 Texas.
37-20 Texas. Okay, different across the board. I like it. I like it a lot. I like your analysis there, especially in the trenches. That's where a lot of games are won. Like you said with Donovan Smith, scramble quarterback. Can't have that happen yet again. Okay. For the first question, the points given out, I'm going to give Henry the 3 here. I like the 28-7, the 7 especially. I think UT's defense will be very big this coming game against a very strugglesome U of H offense. So I'm going to give you the 3. I'm going to give the 2 here to Aram. I like that it's 1 in the trenches, and I like how you mentioned Donovan Smith's mobility especially. And Joe, again, not that your analysis was bad, but I'm going to start you off with the 1 with a little chuckle over there from Aram. Okay, moving on to our second question. One of the best games of the year was played this past Saturday as the Oregon Ducks traveled a bit up north to take on the Washington Huskies. The Huskies won this thriller of a game 36-33 as Oregon missed a last-second field goal to go to overtime, but both quarterbacks balled out as expected. As we are now just over halfway through the season, who is now your new Heisman favorite if it's new, and why? I'm going to start with you, Henry, in the middle.
I think it's kind of clear that the Heisman favorite is and, should be Michael Penix Jr. After this past week, he proved he's an elite quarterback. Right now, he's second in pass yards behind Shedeur Sanders, but he has just under 100 less pass attempts. He's second in QBR, and I think what makes the big difference between him and Williams is this big game. Williams went out against Notre Dame. That's a solid defense. They held Ohio State to a low score, lost that one at the very end, and, they didn't put all the men on the field, so that's a big factor there. But, Williams went up against this good defense, and he did not perform. This was his worst collegiate performance, I think, thus far. But Penix went against a top 10 team in Oregon, and, Oregon did fail to convert a couple fourth downs, and that helped. But, he took on that competition. He came out victorious.
Yeah, I like the call. I think Penix is definitely in that top 5, top 3 conversation for sure, especially after that big win against Oregon. Aram, what do you got?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely not Caleb after that heinous performance that we saw against Notre Dame, which I think is a fraudulent team, by the way, but that's a topic for another discussion. I got, how he likes to paint his fingernails? I got 5 letters that he can paint on those fingernails. F-R-A-U-D. He's not going to win the Heisman again. It hasn't happened in a while. My pick is going to be Michael Penix Jr., and let me explain to you why. I believe that this team is going to make the college football playoff. I don't think that's a bold take at this point in the season. Michael Penix Jr., one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. He has 2 of the best receivers, probably 2 of the top 5 receivers in the country at this point. And I believe that the road, while it is hard, they already played the toughest opponent left in their schedule in Oregon, in my opinion. So I believe if they can, be one loss Pac-12 championship, that division looks pretty good, by the way. They're going to have an excellent resume. If Michael Penix Jr. can keep doing what he's doing, putting up numbers on offense, lead Washington to the first college football playoff appearance since the Jake Browning days of 2016, I feel like it's pretty much his award to lose.
Yeah, I agree. I like the fingernail polish there for Caleb Williams, and yeah, he definitely did not play well last week against Notre Dame. And I like how you mentioned, especially that Washington's schedule gets a little bit easier for them moving on out. Joe, what do you got?
I'm going to go with J.J. McCarthy of the Michigan Wolverines. I'm going to switch it up a little bit.
Wow.
Guess what? This has not even been close for the Michigan Wolverines this season. They've mollywopped every single competitor they've had. Doesn't matter who it is, if it's FCS teams, doesn't matter if it's FBS teams, they're not as talented. They'll get more people that on their schedule that they'll play that are better. I think Ohio State will be a great test for them, especially at the end of the season. But Henry mentioned how Penix was second in QBR in the FBS. You know who's first? J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy is the sheriff of this Michigan offense. They have looked unstoppable. They have scored about 40 points per game. Their offense is top in the nation. I have him winning the Heisman.
Wow, okay, a little bit of a different answer there. And in all honesty, I was kind of expecting a little bit of a different answer, especially from you, Joe. I knew you like to, break open the box a little bit. I like it. Great answers across the board. With the 3 here, I'm going to give it to Aram. I agree with the Penix Jr. take, and I like your analysis a lot, especially with the schedule. So with the 2, though, I was wanting a little bit different from Penix, so I'm going to give it to you, Joe, with the 2. I like the McCarthy call with the QBR, and Michigan hasn't been tested yet, so I like the thought that it could still happen. You don't really know yet. And with the 1, I like your analysis as well, Henry, but I'm going to give you the 1 to round off question number 2. Moving into our final question of this block. As we are now just over the halfway mark in college football, it feels like a good time to start talking about the college football playoff. If you had to make your prediction for who makes the playoffs right now, who are your 4 teams to make it, and how would they be seeded? And Aram, we're going to start with you on the end.
All right, well, let's start from the bottom to build up suspense. You feel me? It's going to be – I knew you would. It's going to be at number 4. I truly believe this. I'm not biased at all. It's not like I go to the University of Texas or anything, but it's going to be the Texas Longhorns at 4. I feel like that loss to Oklahoma, there's just a lot of things that went wrong, but they've shown us a lot throughout the season. If they can, win out the remaining schedule, beat Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship, I feel like they could easily slide in at number 4. At number 3, we're going to go Washington. Like I said before, I'm a really big believer in this team. Their schedule is only going to get easier, but they do have a lot of opportunities to prove themselves on a resume level. So let's go to Ohio State or Michigan for the number 2 spot. It's going to be one of those teams every year. I mean, they just compete every year. We're going to go with Ohio State, though. I like their defense this year. We have not seen an Ohio State defense this dominant in a long time. And their offense, it's gonna get there. You got Marvin Harrison Jr., all those wide receivers, the running backs. They have talent up and down on the roster. And it may not be the sexiest choice, but we're going to go with Georgia. I mean, until somebody knocks them off, they're going to be the top dog. Kirby Smart is the new Nick Saban. So we got Georgia at 1, Ohio State at 2, Washington at 3, and Texas at 4.
Okay, I like the analysis there. I think those are very realistic picks as well. I like how you kept Georgia at number 1 because it doesn't necessarily seem like anybody's going to knock them off. Got a tough game coming up at Florida, though, in a week. We'll see what happens. I like it, though. Joe, what do you got?
I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to go Georgia, number 1. Again, like Aram said, that schedule is terrible. They have no contenders on that they're going to face. If they get knocked off, it's just going to be like some miracle and then losing the SEC championship. So I have the number 1. Kirby Smart will have his boys ready. Number 2, I'm going to have Michigan because they're going to win the Big Ten championship while also beating Ohio State in the game before the actual Big Ten tourney. I'm going to have them beat Ohio State again in the actual tournament because they're not playing separate divisions now for that championship game. So they're going to defeat Ohio State twice to solidify that number 2 spot. Okay. Number 3, I'm going to go with Washington. I know they have a lot of tough matchups ahead of them, but I still have them defeating USC later on in the season. I think they're going to win the Pac-12 championship in Vegas. I have them holding on to 3. And then number 4, I'm going to go with Florida State. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but Jordan Travis has balled out this season. The defense has been clutch when it matters the most. I like their passing game in the late game stages. I like how their coach, Mike Norvell, has coached his players not only emotionally but also an X's and O's kind of way. He is a great offensive mind. So I think I'm going to go Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and Florida State.
Okay, I like the 4, and I like the 4. I like you had a number 4. I like Jordan Travis. I'm a Jordan Travis guy. They've been in a lot of close games, but at the end of the day, if you win, you win. It's as simple as that. I like the 4. All right, Henry, run us off.
Well, it's going to sound repetitive, but one, I'm going to pick Georgia. Two, I don't think they're going to lose a game this year. I think they're going to hold on to that spot. And without losing a game, there's no reason to bump them down, no matter the competition they play. For number two, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. It is a Big Ten team, but I'm going to pick Penn State. I know in the past Penn State has kind of, shrunk down in the big lights. They've lost to Ohio State, they lost to Michigan, but this is as good a team Penn State has had in a very long time. Their defense is playing immaculate. They beat Iowa. I know Iowa's not doing that great, but when Iowa's ranked, they crushed them. At number three, I'm going to put FSU. I think FSU can win out the season easily. Duke, quarterback, just got hurt, and they're a good team, but I think they're going to win that game out. They're going to probably see UNC in the championship, win that out. And then at four, I'm going to agree with Aram and take Texas. I think we have a clear path to the playoffs. We don't have a hard schedule, starting with Houston, finishing out the year. And then we're going to see Oklahoma. I think we're going to learn from our mistakes. We're going to limit Dylan, Gabriel. We're going to, stop those penalties, and we're going to take charge of that offense. Ewers is going to have a couple touchdowns, and we're going to have a nice spot at number four.
Wow. Okay, I like the analysis there. Penn State at 2 kind of caught me by surprise there, but I like it because I like them going into Ohio State and beating them this week. So we'll see how that plays out. Great answers across the board. Looking at the points for this question, I'm going to give Joe the 3 here. I know Texas isn't up there, which kind of hindered me a little bit because I think they will personally make it, but I like how Florida State and Washington and Michigan, all 3 teams I believe in, are also in your top 4. With the 2, I am going to give it to Henry. I like how Texas is at your 4, but I like how you have Penn State over Aram having Ohio State in there, because I don't think Ohio State's going to make it this year personally. And number 1, I'm going to give it to Aram. Just a little bit better analysis over here. That's all there is to it. Okay, that'll wrap things up for tonight's first round. Don't go anywhere. College Crossfire. We'll be right back. Welcome back into College Crossfire. Quick scoring update for you. We have Joe here with 6. We have Henry here with 6. And we have Aram here with 6. We have a tie game all around after the first block. Let's now take a look at a little bit of some different sports going on currently. Both the AL and NL Championship Series are must-watch TV as the Diamondbacks take on the scorching Phillies, and the Astros, who are currently up 7-2 against the Rangers as we speak, face off against the undefeated playoff Rangers. Looking at both of these series, who do you think is the biggest impact player and why? And we're going to start on the end with Aram.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. All right. So let's start off with the Texas Civil War here. It's been a topic of discussion amongst TSTV for a long time. All right. So for the Astros, I'm gonna give you 2 players from each team because I believe the series could go either way. It's gonna go to 7. Let's go with Jose Abreu for the Astros. I would go with Pena or Altuve. They were the heroes of the last postseason run, but they just haven't been that great this year. But yeah, any offense that's been generated, at least in the games that I've watched, has been Jose Abreu. He's been good. He leads their team in home runs, I think, this postseason. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a baseball fan. On the other side, let's go with Evan Carter for the Rangers. I think he's an excellent outfielder. He's been one of the reasons. Every time I look up, he's making a play. We're gonna go with Astros in 6, though. They're gonna beat the Phillies in the World Series.
I like that call.
Now, on the other side, Bryce Harper. We'll talk about character evolution throughout a career, right? He was an a-hole he was an absolute a-hole with the Nationals. But talk about evolution of leadership. You know what I'm saying? Bryce Harper, his batting average is insane this postseason. I definitely think that he's always been an immaculate talent. There's no question about that. But there comes a point in every athlete's career where you can call yourself a leader. He's been able to do that. I feel like he's the best player left. He's gonna get to the World Series, but Astros are probably gonna win that. Let's be honest.
Okay, so I like the Astros in 6 call. I like the Bryce Harper call. I think Abreu's been great for the Astros. I think there's maybe a few other players that could have been more effective. But I like the Carter call, especially for the Rangers making that huge catch just a few days ago. So I like it. Okay, Joe, let's hear it.
Yeah, for the Phillies and the Phillies Diamondbacks series, I'm going to go with Bryce Harper, like Aram said. Right now, he's hitting .389 with 4 homers. All of his extra base hits in this series have been homers. And so, well, not in this series, in the postseason, actually, have been homers. He's dominating with a 1389 OPS right now. And I love to see star players who play with this gritty mindset. When you see Bryce Harper, you know he's a star. You know he's an MVP. You know he's a future Hall of Famer, but he still plays like he's the last guy in the roster. So when you have a guy like that leading your squad, anything can be done. He leads the charge. He knows how to lead a team. He is their best player and his most impactful player as well. In the Astros series, I'm going to go with Yordan Alvarez. What more can be said? He is feared because he's one of the most respected postseason hitters in modern history. He is like Barry Bonds in the modern day. You cannot pitch him anywhere, even close in the zone. You almost just have to walk him because he can knock anything out of the park. It is insane. Watching him hit 2 homers just in Game 2 in Houston a few days ago, I was mesmerized yet again. So Yordan Alvarez, he's hitting .392 coming into Game 3 right now. I believe he has 6 homers right now in the postseason, which is ridiculous. He also has a 1,400 OPS. He is an impact player for the Astros.
Yeah, you just named 2 of the best sluggers, not only in the playoffs, but in baseball as well. And I like how you mentioned Harper plays like he's the last guy on the roster. He really does. He brings energy every single day. And that Philly stadium is ridiculous. What an atmosphere. All right, Henry, round us off.
I'm going to start with the Phillies. I don't want to be repetitive, but I am going to say Bryce Harper, but I'm going to say it for a little bit different reason. The way he's playing, he's hitting .385 right now. He's got 10 hits, 10 runs, 26 at-bats. But the way he switched on defense, the way he's doing first base for his team, he's taking that leadership role like you guys, like Joe and Aram said. That's the kind of thing that gets a team championships, going that extra mile, doing things you're not willing to do, getting uncomfortable in uncomfortable situations. That's what takes you somewhere. That's what inspires the younger players. That's what inspires the whole team. And that's what inspires the coaches, too. And for the Rangers, I'm going to take it to the bullpen. Jordan Montgomery came out that first game, pitched a shutout. Best offense is a great defense, and that right there just gets your team momentum. It makes your team feel safe. It makes your team feel like, if we don't get this hit, that's okay. We got a stud on the mound. We can do anything. We can last this whole game. So that's who I got.
Okay, I like the analysis. Harper across the board is a great answer for that series. I could have liked Castellanos as well, maybe even Schwarber, maybe even Corbin Carroll. I don't know. There's a lot of different answers. I like Harper a lot there. Looking over to the Texas and Astros series, I like my favorite answer was Alvarez. So moving into the points, I'm going to give you the 3, Joe. Liked the Harper comment, like I said, and I like how Alvarez, you said, was the most impactful player in that series. He's just completely dominant. I mean, you can't pitch the guy almost. With the 2, I'm definitely going to give it to you, Henry. Rangers bullpen has been something to watch, not only the postseason, the regular season as well. Let's see if they can get it done against a very, very good and talented Astros roster. And with the 1, I'm going to give this one to Aram. Okay, moving on to our second question and switching over to the NFL. Some starting quarterbacks continue to struggle as the season progresses, such as Bears quarterback Justin Fields, shout out Tommy and Jason. Falcons quarterback Desmond Ridder, shout out our man Goose back in the studio, and others. In your personal opinion, who is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL at this point in the current season, and why? I'm going to start with Henry in the middle.
I'm going to go to the Northeast with this one and say Mac Jones. Mac Jones has been not good at all this year, and I know the defense has been a problem too. They had those 2 back-to-back games with 30-plus points, but the offense has to do their job. They scored 3 points total in those 2 games. Against Las Vegas in one of those games where they got shut out, he had a QBR of 6.9, I believe. And it's just been bad decision-making. I know it's not all on him. I know it's a team thing, but Mac Jones is just not doing what they want him to do. He's not the next Tom Brady like everyone said he was going to be. He had that 1 win against the Jets, and I'm a Jets fan, and it hurts to say this, but, they're still recovering from that Aaron Rodgers situation. Their defense is great, and that was a good win for them. I believe that. But the rest of the season, it's just been all downhill, and we're seeing no progress, no upward motion, so I got to say Mac Jones.
Yeah, I like to call on Mac Jones against the Cowboys. Started, got benched. Next game, started, got benched. Play Vegas, threw for 200 yards, and we're like, whoa, he threw for 200 yards? That's not an accomplishment. 200 yards should not be an accomplishment on a game-by-game basis, so I like the call for Mac Jones. He's definitely been struggling. We're going to go here with Joe. Yep.
I want to tell you, I say this with complete bias because I have this receiver in 2 of my fantasy leagues, DeAndre Hopkins, but Ryan Tannehill, you are stinking it up in the NFL, man. Oh, my gosh, you were, actually not doing good at all. Ryan Tannehill, for a veteran quarterback who's been in the league as long as he has, being a starter, he's just not playing up to par right now. 62% completion percentage, second worst QBR in the league right now behind Daniel Jones. And I don't think it's the same reason at all. Daniel Jones cannot even get the ball out at all because the offensive line is terrible. But Ryan Tannehill, he has some clean pockets at times, but he's just overshooting D-Hop, overshooting every receiver on his squad right now. He has 2 touchdown passes right now, 6 picks. That is ridiculous for a veteran quarterback right now. You might have to start benching him right now, Mike Vrabel. You might have to go Malik Willis. You might have to go the other quarterback. I can't remember his name, the mayonnaise guy. But I think his name is Will Levis, I believe. That's the name right there. But Ryan Tannehill, you were stinking it up right now. You were the worst quarterback in the league, in my opinion.
I like it. Honestly, I wasn't expecting Ryan Tannehill, but I didn't know he's got 2 touchdowns and 6 picks. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Tannehill, he's been on the decline, man. He should probably retire. All right, Aram, let's hear it.
There's a lot of ways you could go with this, man.
Yes,
There's a certain quarterback in Dallas that would be on this list if not for a certain Monday night event. But check with me back in February, around the second round of the playoffs. But for now, I really like the Mac Jones answer. I'm going to elaborate on that. None other than Mac Noodle Arm Jones himself. I mean, no disrespect to the man whatsoever. I liked him coming in, but he just can't throw the deep ball. He just can't play football, bro. Yeah. No disrespect to him whatsoever. Yeah. But, I mean, you're not going to get offense done, throwing screens and, slants and stuff like that. He's playing like it's Madden, bro. He can't throw the football. And I think a lot of that has to do with Belichick's play calling. All good things must come to an end. They had a terrific run. They thought Mac Jones was their next franchise quarterback. I think that's what you got to look at this question. You could argue Dobbs, but technically Kyler's their starter. He's just hurt. But yeah, the Patriots have just been a road wreck, bro. They need to move on from Belichick. Move on from probably need to start Malik Cunningham or Bailey Zapp. I'm going to go with Mac Jones. I really thought he was going to be good. This one kind of hurts to say, but he's my pick for this one.
Yeah, I think Mac Jones is a very correct answer. Moving on from Belichick, that's a little bit of a hot take here. I'm starting to feel the heat in the studio. Starting to feel it. You guys feeling it?
Crossfire.
He's feeling it. We're starting to feel it here. Great answers across the board. With the 3, I'm going to give it to Henry with the original Mac Jones call. I like the analysis as well. He's just been horrific. How do you bench a guy after starting both the games in back-to-back games and then continue to play him? Don't completely understand it. He needs to go. I don't know what needs to happen in New England. It's a dumpster fire over there. With the 2, I'm going to give it to Joe. I like the Tannehill pick. Wasn't expecting it. Really like it. The Titans should be more of a complete team if they had an actual quarterback, and they don't. I think they're going to literally come in last in the AFC South this year, and I called that 6 weeks ago. So we'll see. Aram with the 1 kind of bit the bullet there with just kind of order placement, but that's okay. There's still plenty of questions to come. With the 3rd and final question of this round, the NFC South seems to be completely up for grabs still, as the Bucks, Falcons, and Saints all currently have 3 wins. These teams have some star players, don't get me wrong, but they also seem to all be just kind of stagnant. In your opinion, which team do you see winning the NFC South at this point in the season, and why? And we're going to start on the end right here with Joe.
I want to say the Tampa Bay Bucks, but after this recent game, of course, wearing their throwback creamsicles against the Detroit Lions, I'm kind of lost a little bit of faith in them in the NFC South, of course, with Baker Mayfield joining this team in the offseason. I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints, though, to win the NFC South with Derek Carr, mainly because of this defense, though. They are top 5 right now, giving up about 278 yards per game. That is elite right now in this league so far through 6 games. But I trust this offense to get better. They're not consistent right now. I think they'll get better as time goes. Derek Carr, I trust his veteran leadership. I trust Michael Thomas as also a veteran receiver on this team. Alvin Kamara just came back last week for this squad. And then Jamal Williams has been an IR since the start of the season, I believe. He'll be coming back, too, and is going to be a nice goal line threat for them. So I have them kind of closing out maybe in the last 2 weeks. I think it'll be a close race to the end, but I think Tampa Bay will finish second, New Orleans will finish first.
Okay, Saints finishing first after getting chopped up by my boy C.J. Stroud. No, I like the call, though. Williams coming back, I think, would be a nice addition. Led the league in touchdowns last year for running backs. Would be a sneaky addition to the team. They got a great defense. We'll see how it goes. All right, Henry, what do you got?
I'm going to have to disagree with Joe here. I'm going to take the Bucs to win the division because, I know that offense isn't great right now, but if you look at that defense, they have the least points against out of anybody in that division. I think Baker Mayfield, it's still early in the season. They got two great receivers in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I don't know if there's a better red zone threat receiver than Mike Evans, the big man. He could be a tight end if he gained a little more weight. And I just think Baker Mayfield still has it in him. I know it's been a long road. I know coming from the Browns. But he has that tenacity. He has the fire. I think they can take it all the way. They just got to, get that connection going, get a little more chemistry.
Yeah, I like the Buccaneers call. They did face a really good Lions team. It didn't play great, but again, the Lions have been playing phenomenal football. And I'm not a Baker Mayfield guy, but you know what? He hasn't looked that bad this year, so I'll exclude the hate from this show. All right, Aram, round us off.
I mean, this is essentially asking, who's going to get eliminated in the first round. I mean,
yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're gonna go a different route here. Sucks being at the end, but I'm gonna go with the Falcons. Shout out to Goose. I know you like that, bro. They got talent all up and down the roster, at least on offense. They got Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, who needs to be targeted more, for God's sake, right? But yeah, I'd say they just need to find the right piece at quarterback. Honestly, I'm not a big Desmond Ridder fan, never been. I feel like this year it's gonna show us a lot about. I don't like Arthur Smith either. They need to fire him. They need to find the right QB. They need to find the right coach, just like C.J. Stroud and who's the Houston head coach? Sorry.
For who?
DeMeco Ryans. My fault.
There you go.
They need to find the right QB, the right coach, and I think the sky's the limit for them. I think they go 8-9, winning the division, kind of similar to the Tom Brady-led Bucs last year. But the sky's the limit for them. I think that they could make a similar jump in a couple years to what we saw the Bengals. Remember, we were all saying that they were trash, and they're in the Super Bowl all of a sudden. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Falcons here.
Okay, I like the analysis there. They got Bijan, like you said. I think Arthur Smith has been kind of here or there, good games, bad games, so he's been kind of a question mark, but I like the Falcons' call overall. With the three, I am going to – what's going on here, Joe?
The Arthur Smith meme.
Oh, the Arthur Smith meme. Yeah, you got the double chin and the mustache. It's like, what's going on? All right, with the three, I'm going to give it to Henry. Henry, I liked your answer a lot. I think the Bucs will have this division still on locks. The defense is too good, and they've shown strides. They got Mike Evans, like you said, 1,000 yards in like 9 straight seasons. It's been ridiculous. I like the Bucs winning the division still. With the two, I'm going to give it to Aram. I like the Falcons call. Kyle Pitts does need to get more involved. We've been saying that for 3 years now, and if you have him on your fantasy team, you've known this. It's getting ridiculous, but they got some really good talent over there. Maybe Ritter, maybe it's Heineke. We'll see. Joe, I'm going to give you the one. I'm not a true believer in the Saints. They've kind of lost their identity a little bit. Slant Boy's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, and so I'm going to give you the one there. Great answers all around by our contestants. We've got rapid fire coming up next. Stay with us. You won't want to miss it. Welcome back into College Crossfire. We have a tight game right now with Henry leading the way with 14, the new guy in the arena. Joe in second currently with 12, and Aram right behind him with 10. But it's still anyone's contest to take as we enter into the final round of tonight's show that's worth double the points. And my advice to the contestants, don't get caught in the crossfire. Let's get into our first question. Watching college football and NFL this weekend, it dawned on me that there are some absolute dogs playing the game right now that aren't being talked about enough. A few guys that come to mind are Raiders defensive end Max Crosby, Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis, and others. In your opinion, what football player do you currently think is extremely underrated? This can be NFL or college, and why? Anybody can go, anybody can take the mic. Take your time, guys.
All right.
It's like,
Yeah, no, I don't want it.
what is...
I'm going to be biased with this. I said before I'm a Jets fan. Breece Hall is a beast. That dude tears up the field. I know he had a couple games where he wasn't doing so great. He's coming back from the injury. But ever since that Broncos game a couple weeks ago, he has been playing great. He had a touchdown last week. He had more than 120 yards at the Broncos, the same field he got his injury on. He had a touchdown in that game. He provides his team motivation. He's the number one running back in a pretty stacked running back room. And I just don't feel like we hear it enough. I feel like there's too much talk about the Aaron Rodgers injury. Hope he comes back soon, you know. But Breece Hall is just such an underrated player, and I love that guy.
Fair call. Coming off the ACL tear, he's looking good. I like it. What you got?
I'm going to go with the DB here. Marquise Bell from America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Undrafted free agent. Did you see this young man ball out on Monday against the Chargers? This team has been begging for some more younger talent to step up right now in the loss of Trayvon Diggs. But if you look at that game a few days ago, you see Marquise Bell getting that key stop on fourth down, I think, in the 5-yard line to move the ball back to the Cowboys' possession, to get the possession back right there after a key stop. Big-time stop. He's a 6'4", about 220-pound DB. He's a crazy talent for this team. They've been begging for someone to step up, like I said, in the loss of Trayvon Diggs. I think he's the most underrated corner right now. Cowboys fans have been begging for him to get more playing time. He hasn't played much in these past 2 games, especially against the 49ers. He got almost no playing time at all for some reason. That changed this week. I like Marquise Bell.
Okay, Marquise Bell from, as Joe calls them, America's team. I don't call them that. But, all right, I like the call. It's underrated. I like it.
All right, well, there's no bigger dog in sports than Zach Wilson, am I right? I mean, among other things, he's got that dog in him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Zach. Hey, enough from you, Joe, okay? It's my turn. I waited mine. You can wait yours. All right, so let's go with Zach Wilson. You're a Jets fan. This dude has not gotten a fair shake in the NFL, but I think now is his chance. He's got a Super Bowl contending roster, supposedly. They have a lot of talent around them. It's his prove it year, you know. He needs to go out there. He needs to lead the Jets to the playoffs. He's not going to win the Super Bowl, obviously, but he needs to prove it. And if not, then the Jets need to move on from them. He's underrated as of right now because that's a team that I think can make the playoffs. But let's go with Zach Wilson for this.
Okay.
Terrible take by Joe, by the way.
Okay.
Say that.
Okay, there we go. Not expecting any of those 3 answers. I will be telling you that much. 2 Jets and a undrafted cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, I've assigned the points, but in this last round, I don't tell you who got the points because we'll hear in the end who wins. So we're going to move into our second question. The MLB, especially in the playoffs, is a sport built around momentum. One way to gain this momentum is simply by having a fantastic walk-up song while coming up to the plate to bat. Here's a quick example on your screen. We can't hear it, obviously, in the studio, but if you're listening, hopefully you can at least hear it. If you were an MLB player and you were coming up to bat in the playoffs in your home stadium, what would your walk-up song be? And anybody can start.
Yeah, I'm going to keep the mic away from Joe with this one before he says some old head type music you'd hear at bingo on a Tuesday night at his retirement home. But yeah, it's a clear answer here. You have to go with rap, bro. I mean, I'm going to go with Hate Me Now by Nas feat. Diddy. That song makes me feel like an absolute villain. You feel me? I could just imagine it now walking up, you know. I'm a controversial guy. I have a lot of controversial takes. I feel like, especially in an away game, a lot of people would just be trying to hate on me for no reason, just like this man over here. But I just feel like that song, it would make me feel like a villain. I feel like I could do anything when I'm listening to that song.
Okay. Good answer. I like it.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Other 2?
Hey, listen, I'm a huge wrestling fan. I've been a WWE fan my whole life. My theme song will be the Stone Cold theme song, if anybody knows what that is. When you hear that glass shatter, you know something's about to go down. And that'll get the crowd hype, of course, knowing that I'm coming up to the plate, about to hit a home run, of course, like I always would do if I'm going up to the plate. But when you hear that theme song, the dun 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 dun, it's going to get the whole crowd rallied up. That's a great example. To get the crowd rallied up. When you hear that glass shatter, it's on.
All right. I like that one. Here we go.
You know, this one might be more of a football song, but, you know, it's intimidating. It's a good song. You know, Hell's Bells. It's a classic. It makes everybody, you know, shake a little bit, you know, maybe get a new pair of pants. I think when you hear that gong going, everybody gets hyped, you get ready. So that's got to be my answer. Hell's Bells is that number one walk-up song.
Hell's Bells is quite phenomenal. I will indeed say that. And imagine that in a playoff game. Woo! Woo! That's some good stuff. Hold on. I'm assigning points real quick. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds here. Okay. Okay, we're getting away from the pants. All right, no more pants. Okay. The last question of tonight's game. The sports equinox is soon approaching with the NFL, MLB, NBA, and NHL all play a game on the same day. As a true sports fan, this day is unlike any other. It might just be the greatest day in the history of the entire world. If you had nothing going on all day and wanted to watch all these sports, describe to me what your ideal and dream setup would be regarding food, location, etc. Anybody can go.
I mean, I can start.
Okay.
The mic. All right, so 3 TVs all next to each other right away. You know, different sports, each one. Then you got 1 TV above the center, just all of them split screen, quad box, tri box, whatever. And then set up nachos on the left, hot dogs on the right, some burritos in a bowl somewhere, some spicy wings, Coca-Cola, root beer. Can't do the other one, so that's definitely my dream setup.
Can't do the other ones. Okay, I like it. We're a censored show.
I'm not going to be general with this answer. I know Joe's probably just going to stay on his couch like he spends the entire weekend. Just sits on the couch for the entire weekend, let's be honest. Well, I'm renting out a room at the Alamo Draft House.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I just saw the Taylor Swift movie there. It's absolutely immaculate. Don't hate on me for that. I'm renting out a room. I'm going to have it all to myself. They're going to cater me. It's going to be wings. It's going to be, you know, nuggies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to have all the food I want, unlimited popcorn. Nobody else is going to be in there. I'm watching the NBA. I'm watching the NFL. Probably not MLB, let's be honest. But NBA, NFL, you know, we're walking with Alamo Draft House.
Alamo Draft House by himself with some nuggies coming in. All right. I like
Special
it.
nuggies.
Special nuggies. Got it. Joe, final answer.
I'm going to have it set up in my dorm with the stacked company of just myself. I'll be sitting right there watching the TV. It's going to be NFL, of course, on a Sunday. The Sports Equinox, what day is it?
This is, I believe, October 30th.
I feel like that's a Sunday for some reason. I think it's a Sunday. If not, it's going to be football on that day.
Yeah.
I'm going to put football primarily on the TV. On the side, I'll have probably some basketball, maybe some baseball on the split screen on my computer. Maybe on my laptop, I'll find a mischievous way to put on maybe an NHL game somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Don't know how I'm going to do that at all. But I'm going to find a way to watch it. Then I'm going to drink some Dr. Pepper. Probably going to have maybe some chili, I don't know, on the side. Some chili, some crackers, and cheese. I might listen to some music on the side, do some homework also, but it should be a nice day for sports watching.
That would be a very nice day for sports watching. And, yeah, okay, not bad. Why are we all by our lonesome here? This is the best day in the history of the world, like I said, and yet we're all by our lonesome. Okay, okay. But this is some great answers across the board. We have a very close game, and I have our winner. And it's a close one, I'll tell you that much. All right, give me a little drum roll, please, from our contestants. Our winner tonight is indeed Joe Duffey. One more time, yet again, just barely. Do we have time for FaceTime for Joe? Yes, we do. Joe, what do you got to say?
Hey, I'm happy. I didn't think I was going to win that. I really did not, but grateful to Ryan, the judge. Had a great competition. Look forward to more. Great competition against, again, Aram and Henry. This is a great day for talking about sports again. So hopefully the Rangers can pull out a series in this ALCS.
Oh, gosh. There we go. Some great FaceTime. But thank you again to everybody here. And that will wrap things up tonight for us at TSTV. Thank you to everyone who makes the show possible, from the contestants to the in-studio personnel, all the people in Master Control, and to you, the audience especially. I'm your host, Ryan Swantkowski, and we will see you next week.